Today we will be creating slide 3 in our state presentations. So we're going to add slide 3 to our presentation. I'm going to teach you a new way to do that. Last week we went into slide and selected new slide. Today we're going to go and select our layout at the same time as adding slide 3. So if you can see this little plus sign up here at the top, if you put your cursor on it, it says new slide. We're going to click the arrow which says new slide with layout, and we can select our layout at the same time. Today we are going to select title only. So find the layout that says title only and select it. So here it is, slide 3 with our title ready for us. Let's go ahead and give it its name. Slide 3 is titled State Geography. So type that in with a capital. It is the name of your slide. Let's highlight this and change the font style, something bold that really stands out. Let's change the size to make it a little larger. We can change the font color. Again, I want to complement the other slides on my page, so remember what your color scheme is. I'm going to change it to maybe a blue this time. And I want to make sure that it's centered on my page, so if I need to go up here and find alignment. You can see a line. If I click the arrow, you can see that I can change it and move it to center it. Before we move on, I really want my title to stand out. I'm going to give it a frame behind it. I'm going to frame it by filling in the color of this text box. So while it's highlighted, it's blue and highlighted, I go back to my menu bar and I have the little bucket here which is fill color. So if I click the arrow next to it, I have lots of options. I can fill the color inside that text box. I'm staying within a certain color scheme, so I'm going to maybe do a lighter pastel blue. And I'm also going to give it a frame. So this little line, this border that outlines the text box, I can also change that. So right next to the bucket fill color, I have line color. If I click on this arrow, I can change the color of the line. Again, I'm going to go with maybe a red this time. And last week I taught you how to change it so it's a little thicker line, because right now it doesn't really stand out. So line weight, and I'm going to make it pretty thick this time. There we go. I can drag it to move it. You can either have your title at the top or you can drag it to the bottom. This is your project and you're going to design it the way you like. You want to make sure that it's pleasing to the eye and that it looks clean and organized. We're going to go ahead and add a text box. Last week I showed you how to go to Insert to add a text box, and you clicked and drug the text box onto your slide. There's actually another way you can do it. If you click the text box button and drag it, it's just a shortcut. So I'm going to keep my text box to half the page because I'm going to add several pictures today. So let's go ahead and start a paragraph. For slide 3, you're going to create a 2 to 3 sentence paragraph describing your state's geography. You're going to include at least 4 facts from your state research note. You can include the highest point, your state's major rivers, lakes, your state's bordering states, countries, or bodies of water. You can include the number of state parks or beaches or forests. You can also include the area and or population of your state. So once you've completed your 2 to 3 sentences, I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. And again, I need to change my font style to match the same font that I used in slide 2. Remember, we want to make sure we use the same font on all slides. So if you forgot, you simply click on that slide, click on the text, and check to see what you used. You go back, you can highlight it and change your font. You can change the size so it's a little larger or fits better on your page. It's a little big. The next thing you're going to do is insert a map of your state. Now last week we used this Insert tab at the top where we could insert text, images, and we've used word art, but I'm going to show you a shortcut. If you go over here and the little shortcuts, you can see the image. Let's click that and it takes you right into your image search. Let's click search to use the Google image search and type in the name of your state. And now I want to include the word map into my keywords so that I get a map of my state and not just random pictures of California. Use your bar here to scroll up and down and find a map that you like. Something that represents the geography of your state, since this is the title of our slide. Once you insert it, you can use the arrows to resize. Remember, if you grab it from the top and resize it this way, you're going to distort your image. So I'm going to click undo. Same thing if you grab it from the side, you can distort your image as well. So the way you can resize it without distorting is grabbing it by the side. So today's assignment is going to include a couple more pictures. I want to make sure you're comfortable adding pictures, so I would like you to find a picture of your state's highest point. So now I'm going to go back and add an image again. And the highest point for California is Mount Whitney. And I type in the name Mount Whitney and I have lots of options. I'm going to select a picture, double click to insert. Again, grabbing it by the corner, being careful not to distort it. I'm going to resize it. I'm just going to leave it on my page and I'm going to reorganize everything after I get my third and final picture in there, which is a picture of either a major river or a lake. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my image search, and my final picture is going to be of, I'm going to select, let's see, San Joaquin River. You need to make sure you spell those keywords properly so that you get the correct results. And again, resizing it, making it much smaller so that I can reorganize my page. Okay, so now it's time to rearrange everything so it looks nice on my page. So I'm going to move my text down a little bit. I might need to change the size of my font so it's a little smaller. Let's see how it goes. Let's move that down. And I'm going to insert my two pictures above it. So you can rearrange your page however you like. This is your project and you're designing it. You want to just make sure that, again, it's clean and organized and you don't want it to look messy, too busy. Before I move on, I'm going to add a border to these pictures because I want them to really stand out, just like my title does. So if I click on my picture, I can actually do the same thing that I did to my title. I can go back up here to the top and put my cursor right here on the line color, and I can give it a border using the same process that I did on my title. So again, it's not thick enough, so I need to go to line weight, and I'm going to have that a little thicker. Same thing, do the same border on each one. And I'm going to also do the same for my map. Maybe have this one stand out a little more. So once you're pleased where everything is on your slide, the placement, the size of your font, and your pictures, the last thing you're going to do is add a background color. So on this slide you want to make sure that it's a simple color, maybe something really light that complements your pictures and your text. Again, you want to match slide 1 and slide 2's color scheme. So I'm going with the blues and oranges, maybe even reds. So again, I'm going to go to background and change the background of my slide. I'm going to maybe change it to a really light blue. Now the final step for today's lesson is to add a little animation. So we're going to animate one object on our slide today, and that's going to be your map. So let's click your map to select it, and we're going to go up here into Insert. So we're going to insert an animation. So let's click Insert. Again, we know text box, we know image, we've done video, we've done word art, we've done most of these things, but if you go down a little further, you will see animation. Animation is movement. So we're going to move this slide when we're giving our presentation. So let's click that, and you can see a little box comes up over here on the right. We can change the way this picture comes into the slide. So for example, we could fade it in, or we can click this arrow and fly it from the left. We can fly it in from the right, from the bottom. We can zoom in or zoom out, disappear up here. There's many options. So you're going to select one and you can click play to see what that looks like. So as that slide comes up, you need to click with your mouse and the animation will come in. Again, select the item that you're animating, go back into Insert, go to Animation. Your box will come up. Right now, it's on fly in from the bottom. So we could change that and do zoom in. Let's see what that looks like. And again, to activate the animation, you need to click with your mouse. So if you're happy with that, just go ahead and close out of it, and the animation is actually already saved. So that completes your lesson for today. We've now completed 3 slides on your presentation. Good job.